Do you believe in ghosts? I'm not sure if I do. I want them to exist, because then that would mean that there's something after this life, that it's not all for nothing. I remember as a kid laying in bed, feeling overwhelmed by the concept of infinity, that if we die, then we exist forever if there is an afterlife. But how if we die and there isn't an afterlife? Then we don't exist in perpetuity forever. And that thought scares me more than seeing an actual ghost. So I'm going to look for them. I'm looking to find something that shakes the foundation of what I've long held to be true, that ghosts don't exist. I'm driving to a small town about 150 miles south of the Twin Cities, a town called Boyd, Minnesota. It's an interesting place to be in that it's a dying town. There's only 150 people who live there. But it's also the town that gave me life, in a way. My grandpa was born in Boyd, graduated from there. And so I'm quite literally from the soil here. And that's why I'm doing my first exploration at the Boyd house. Built over 100 years ago, this house was the first in town to have plumbing and has had 4 people die in it. It was built by the Eckhart family, a prominent family in the area. They both died in the house as well as their 2 children. The house has reports of noises down the hallway, touching, EVPs, objects being moved or thrown. And so we're going to see what type of experiences we can have while we're here. And maybe I'll find what I'm looking for. Hey everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Ghosting Paranormal. My name is Derek Malott, and behind me is the historic Boyd house in Boyd, Minnesota. There's reports of apparitions, sounds. 4 people have died in the house. A lot of activity so far on the REM pod and on our other devices. We're going to have an interesting night, and we're going to go in and check out all that the Boyd house has to offer. So let's go give it a look. All right, Boyd house, night 1. Let's do this. So I figure we'll do a walkthrough with the lights on and see what we end up seeing. And in order to do that, I think maybe we should start by charging up the air a little bit and see what kind of activity we get. So I've got this cool Tesla coil here. It is pretty noisy, but it'll charge up the air all right. Look at this puppy. As soon as I turn that on, look at this. Boom, everything starts sparking. Turn it off. Isn't that crazy? It just messes with everything. So turn it on again, just to show you how much and how sensitive this equipment is. This lets out break my equipment. But I can smell ozone in here. Alright, so got the REM pod on. Got our EMF detector, and you'll see here probably the closer we get to this thing. Well, I unplugged it now. Alright. Walk through here. We've got the foyer. And this is where the owners of the house spent their last days, and they both died in here. And then had funerals here. They had their caskets set up here. So that's kind of interesting house history. He died in the 50s. This place was built in the 1800s. We've got wallpaper. This is a toy room. There's reports of this door opening. So I've kind of tested it. And like if you leave it open, it takes a little bit to fully open it. You have to tap it pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on that. Keep that shut. And so far, I've been here a few hours. It stayed closed. So people get creeped out going in here. It doesn't help that they have all this like these clothes and dolls and stuff. Like, how was that even fun as a kid? Like, if I was a kid and somebody had that doll, I'd be terrified. I'll show you all what this is, guys. This is pretty cool. It's one of those matte pianos. We'll have some fun with that. Then we've got a sitting room here that we'll maybe spend some time in. More creepy dolls. Got our bedroom here. Again, cool wallpaper. I don't know what this is at the end of the hall, but it's creepy, man. It's like this little room. You go in here, got some clown dolls, some toys. We'll spend some time in here, ask some questions, maybe do a EVP session, get the REM pod up in here. So I am alone, guys. You know, ideally, I'd have somebody with me who has the same interest and who might find paranormal investigating cool. But as of now, I don't have anybody with me. So you guys are just going to deal with me. We've got some cool toys again here, a little closet. Now let me show you guys this. This is really creepy. I'm not even kidding. So let me read the story about this picture here. We've got this monkey painting, and it looks like some high schooler painted it, right? But when you read below here, it says, "We acquired this painting from a woman who was desperate to get rid of it." This is the story we are told. Her husband found it on the side of the road 11 years ago. It was just propped up next to a set of chairs and tree that looked exactly like the ones in the painting. Her husband regrets not taking the chairs too. It's always been creepy to her, and she's gotten a bad vibe from it. She's very convinced that it was cursed and haunted. She hated the painting and felt like some little blue creature kept looking at her. Well, kinda, yeah. She never, she hated the painting and felt like some creepy little blue creature was looking at her. And there's a story written on the edges of the painting. And she never read them for fear of summoning a demon or opening a portal. The story is written as follows. And so this story that's written here is along the edge of the paint down here, open through here, and it says, 5 little monkeys walked along the shore. One went sailing, and then there were 4. 4 monkeys climbed a tree. 1 tumbled down, and then there were 3. 3 little monkeys found a pot of glue. 1 got stuck, and then there were 2. 2 little monkeys found a bun. 1 ran away with it, and then there was 1. 1 little monkey and his wife lived in a tree for the rest of his life. I'm guessing that's what the painting depicts. And it says, yeah, this is where it gets creepy. The picture was hanging in their garage. Her husband, Ian, at the age of 31, sadly committed suicide in front of this painting. It has bad energy, and she was glad to see it go. So apparently, somebody actually killed themselves in front of this painting, which is just, take it or leave it, you know, if it's true or not, who knows, but makes the creepy painting a little extra creepy. So we're going to spend some time here with the in here with the creepy monkey painting. So now we go up to the attic. That's the closet. We go up to the attic. And this is like, you know, not like a hospitable attic by any means. So go up here and we've got just some open space with, you know, some sitting chairs, an old period stroller thing. And it's just open spot above the house. It's got these cool original windows here to the house, which I think is pretty neat. So we'll spend some time with some of the equipment up here. Now let's go down to the basement. I'll show you what that looks like. And this is the basement. Not very hospitable. So we've got you know, basically just an open space here. Got a static cam set up. I set some shit at the edge of the table here, so you know, maybe something can knock it down. Ooh, reminds me, put one of these ghost balls on here. And this is a fun tool I've got right here. This is my reverse psychology tool, so don't touch. Definitely not reverse psychology. So anybody that's down here, don't want you to touch this thing right here, because if you do, it's not going to be good. So we'll kind of leave that there, and hopefully they heed the sign, right? So if there is anybody here, try not to mess with my cameras too much because I need those. That's the heat that just kicked on right there. Why don't we set up over here? That was me. I've got the G2 grid here. You can give that a try. This laser grid should give us some interesting information. Let's see. There's a power button on this thing. There it is. So we'll set this up here. So this casts a laser grid. You can't really see it that well with a higher light, but in the darkness here, there's a red grid that gets posted up against the wall, and anything that comes in between where the grid ends and where the device is, we'll get a reading, hot or cold. See, that's letting us know that that's getting calibrated. Now, what you'll see here, you see how my foot shows up as a warm icon? And if it's cold, it'll turn blue. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what we get. So if there's anybody here with me, please let me know by interacting with any of the devices. I'd love to ask you some questions and get to know you a little better, if at all possible. You know, I've never been ghost hunting before, so I'm kind of skeptical. I have to admit that I've never experienced anything inexplicable. Don't really have anything that's sort of changed the way I view the world. So I'm really hoping to experience something tonight that kind of challenges that belief that I have. If there is anybody here, can you come in front of this device here and make this spike a bit? this right here on the floor in case you don't want to get too close to me. And this REM pod was going off earlier as I was setting up. I put this on the table, and it was dinging a little bit. So whoever was making the REM pod go off earlier, do you want to make it go off again? I think by this point, with all the people coming through here, you really know how to use all of this stuff. You've seen it all before. Got a little ding on the REM pod there. Thank you. Can you come closer to that device? So the REM pod just went off right when I was asking it to, which was pretty cool. And like I said, it's been kind of doing that the last couple hours. I've noticed that a couple different times it would beep a little bit like that. Nothing really strong, but I thought it was pretty cool that right when I asked it did that. Now if you don't want to come near that equipment, feel free to make a knocking sound somewhere, or if there's anybody here with me right now, can you complete this knocking sound? Hey, that was cool. Thank you. So we're getting some power drain on this. Interesting, because I just put a battery in it, and it's already almost dead. So we'll get batteries set up in this. See if we can fix that. Yeah, is that you? Who's making the batteries get drained? You taking power from the batteries? Luckily, I've got tons of them. That might be me. The G2 grid. If I come over here again, I'll do it. Oh. I mean, it wasn't me. It'd have to be about over here. Oh man, weird. G2's going off. Don't fall. Please don't fall. Okay. Getting like, it's like warm hits on it, but nothing's showing up on the grid. Now I am next to a heating vent. I don't believe hot air itself. Can set that off. Let's take a peek at thermal here. So when I walk across it, it definitely goes off. But, like, I have to be right in front of it. See, in order to get it to go off. Right here. See? But I'm not that close to it. Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you for interacting with my devices. Getting hits on the G2 and the REM pod. Which is interesting because this stuff works with heat and proximity and electromagnetic fields. So if anything, it's just letting us know that there are fluctuations in heat, electromagnetism, potentially proximity. I've got the thermal pulled up here, looking for any thermal anomalies. So you can see here I've got my FLIR camera pointed at here, looking for any interesting things that might show up on thermal. If I turn this on, you'll see how this works. All you have to do pretty cool, huh? So we'll put it right here for you. That's good. The batteries will set that off. Let's do this. Set that there. So we've got REM pod. And we've got K2 and my cool piano toy. We'll set up G2 grid. Let's go out into the hallway. See if that gets calibrated. If there is anybody here, feel free to play with this new toy I brought. Or if you prefer some of your other toys, you know, we've got some other stuff too. We've got the light up ball. We've got cat ball. Alright, I think that's probably reading me. What's that reading? That might be reading the camcorder. That's there. Well, that's going to be annoying. We'll shut that off. I like all the toys that you have in here. Why don't we do an EVP session here in the playroom? Alright, EVP session, night 1 in the playroom. Is there anybody here with me right now? My name's Derek and I'd love to interact with you. Is there a child here who likes to play? What do you think of my new my toy piano? How long have you been here? Do you get sick of all the people coming in and asking you questions? If you do want to talk, you can talk into this device. This might have a better time hearing you than I can. What's your name? Are you related to anybody in the Eckhart family? If you are here, why do you keep hanging around? Do you like this house? All right, let's see if we got anything. Set this right here, maybe. Don't want that to fall. All right, let's listen. Let's see if we got anything here. I gotta do something about these coins that just everywhere. All right. A handy dandy speaker. Me sliding it on the carpet like a total newbie. EVP session, night 1 in the playroom. Is there anybody here with me right now? My name's Derek and I'd love to interact with you. Is there a child here who likes to play? What do you think of my new my toy piano? How long have you been here? Do you get sick of all the people coming in and asking you questions? That's a fair question. If you do want to talk, you can talk into this device. This might have a better time hearing you than I can. What's your name? related to anybody in the Eckhart family? If you are here, why do you keep hanging around? Do you like this house? Dragging it on the carpet. Not a good idea. Alright, EVP session, night 1 in the playroom. Well, nothing there. Oh. You don't like my cool piano, huh? I thought it was pretty cool. I was looking at like these high-touch pressure mats that were like amazing technology for like testing if you're building headphones, like what would be the application if you put them on your ears, where are the pressure points. And so it's like a $9,000 system for this pressure sensor, and I wanted to use those because they can sense like 0.001 psi or something crazy like that. And I thought, well, if I get one of those, maybe I could get some interaction with them. Like a pressure sensor, maybe the slightest touch could, it corresponds to software that you can see where it's being touched and how hard. And so maybe one day when I have $9,000, I'll get one of those. But for now, it's the $35 piano mat. If you're interacting with the REM pod light up device downstairs, can you touch it up here too if you're up here? All you have to do is come close to it like you were doing, like this. Just like that. There have been reports of footsteps coming down the hall, so I'm going to set the G2 laser up here in the hall. There we go. Maybe have that go up just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Let that calibrate.
Battery high.
Turn this bad boy on. Have that sweep forward. Alright, spirit box session in the creepy monkey painting room. If there's anybody in here who wants to let me know they're here, feel free to communicate through this box here. If you can. Try to use the radio frequency. Is there anybody here right now? can use this device and try to communicate here. I like all the toys that you got here. How long have you been here? What's your name? How old are you? I never know if I should try FM frequency or AM frequency. Let's try. That was creepy. And try that again. What's your name? Are you upset that all these people come here and ask you questions? How long have you been here? What do you think of this monkey painting up here? It just gets really loud sometimes. Freaks me out. If you can use this device here, and the theory is that you can use the radio waves to communicate, and it should pick it up, just sweeping through different radio stations. Are you happy? Are you scared of people coming in here so much? Do you like having visitors? This is a beautiful house. You could tell it was really nice back in the day, too. If you are here, why are you still here? If you're trying to communicate with me through this device, I'm really not able to hear you that well. It'd be cool if you could say my name through this device. My name is Derek. Can you say Derek? her my name. Or anything that seems like a response to my questions.
No.
Yup. I wrapped up my spirit box session and headed downstairs. When I looked at the footage of the hallway cam, I was surprised to see I'd caught something. I did another spirit box session in the basement, but didn't catch anything. I didn't make it into every room the first night of the investigation. I had some friends join me on the second night. We didn't have anything really show up for us. We did have some interesting activity on the K2 meter, but nothing that would be mind-blowing or worth showing here at the end of this episode. Do I think the Boyd house is haunted? It's hard to say. I do know I caught some interesting things on some of my equipment. I also know it's spooky as hell to stay in that house alone. This is definitely the beginning of an incredible journey. And so, the search continues.